Hey gang, I'm Fahaam, your financial freedom guru. Let's turn your dreams into billionaire success stories. Today, we are diving into one of the most inspiring and fascinating stories of wealth, resilience, and business brilliance. This is the story of Aliko Dangote, a name that has become a symbol of African entrepreneurship and global wealth. He is not just the richest man in Africa, but also one of the most strategic and visionary businessmen in the world. His journey shows us how passion, patience, and persistence can turn a simple idea into a global empire. So sit tight, because this isn't just a biography, it's a billionaire blueprint that might just change the way you look at money, risk, and opportunities. Aliko Dangote was born on April 10, 1957, in Kano, Nigeria, into a wealthy Muslim family. His grandfather, Sanusi Dantata, was one of the richest men in Kano at the time and had built his fortune through commodities like rice and oats. So you could say Dangote was born with access to wealth and opportunity. But here's the twist: unlike many who inherit wealth and waste it, Dangote decided to multiply it. Even as a young boy, he had a sharp eye for business. He once said that as a child, he would buy boxes of sweets and sell them to classmates just to make a profit. That early spark of entrepreneurship never left him, and it set the tone for the empire he would one day build. In 1977, at the young age of 20, Dangote received a loan of about $3,000 from his uncle. That money might not sound like much today, but it was the seed that planted a multi-billion-dollar future. With that money, Dangote started a small trading firm in Lagos. He imported and sold basic commodities like rice, sugar, and cement, things people needed every day. The genius of his strategy was simple: focus on demand that never disappears. While others were chasing luxury, he chased necessity, and that decision was one of the keys to his massive growth. People will always eat, people will always build, and people will always consume basics. Dangote understood this early on, and he built his foundation on it. The trading business did really well. By the 1980s, Dangote's firm had become one of the largest suppliers of sugar and cement in Nigeria. But here's where he showed true vision. He realized that importing these goods was profitable, but manufacturing them locally would be revolutionary. Why rely on foreign suppliers when Nigeria itself had the potential to produce? This shift from trading to manufacturing would change the course of his life and cement his place as an African business icon. In the 1990s, Dangote began investing heavily in factories. He set up sugar refineries, flour mills, and pasta factories. Each of these businesses thrived because Nigeria's population was booming, and the demand for food was rising. His sugar refinery, for example, became the largest in Africa and one of the biggest in the world. But his biggest and boldest move came in cement. Cement is the backbone of any developing economy, and Nigeria was in desperate need of infrastructure. Dangote saw this and decided to take over the market. He built cement plants across the country, reducing Nigeria's dependence on imported cement. Over time, his company, Dangote Cement, became the largest cement producer in Africa, operating in over 10 countries and dominating the market. Today, cement alone makes up a huge chunk of his net worth. But Dangote didn't stop there. He understood the power of diversification. His group expanded into salt, sugar, flour, and more recently, one of the boldest projects Africa has ever seen, the Dangote oil refinery. This project, which has cost over $19 billion, is designed to be the largest single-train refinery in the world. To put it simply, this refinery will produce enough fuel not just for Nigeria but for many African countries, reducing the continent's dependence on foreign imports. Think about that for a second. Dangote isn't just running a business, he's reshaping Africa's economic independence. The scale of his vision is breathtaking, and it proves that wealth is built when you think beyond yourself and start thinking about solving problems for millions of people. Now, let's talk numbers. As of now, Aliko Dangote's net worth hovers around $10 to $15 billion, depending on the market. He has consistently been ranked as the richest man in Africa for over a decade. But what's even more fascinating is how he built this wealth. Unlike many billionaires who made money in tech or inherited vast fortunes, Dangote built his empire in industries that are often overlooked: cement, sugar, salt, and flour. He took the basics of human survival and turned them into billion-dollar businesses. That's the genius of his model. He found wealth in simplicity. But Dangote's story is not just about numbers and profits. It's about discipline, humility, and persistence. He is known for his frugal lifestyle, especially in his early years. Despite being a billionaire, he has often been described as simple, focused, and hardworking. He once said that he works 12 hours a day and rarely takes vacations because he believes in staying close to his businesses. That level of dedication is rare and shows us that true success doesn't come from luck, it comes from consistency. Of course, like any great businessman, Dangote has faced challenges. His projects have often been delayed by bureaucracy, funding issues, or political roadblocks. The refinery project itself took years longer than expected and cost billions more than initially planned. But he never gave up. Every obstacle was met with patience and persistence, and slowly, brick by brick, he built the empire that now stretches across Africa. One of the most admirable things about Dangote is his commitment to giving back. Through the Aliko Dangote Foundation, he has donated millions to education, health, and poverty eradication programs. He played a huge role in fighting Ebola in West Africa and supported Nigeria during the COVID-19 pandemic with major donations of healthcare supplies. For him, wealth is not just about personal luxury but about impact. He believes that the true value of money lies in how many lives it can touch and improve. So what can we, as dreamers, hustlers, and future billionaires, learn from Aliko Dangote's journey? First, focus on solving problems that affect the masses. Dangote didn't chase trends, he chased necessity. Second, think long-term. He didn't settle for importing goods, he built factories and refineries that would last for decades. Third, be disciplined. His consistency, work ethic, and patience are qualities we can all adopt in our lives. Finally, never forget to give back. True wealth is not measured by how much you keep but by how much you contribute to others. Dangote's life is proof that African entrepreneurs can compete on the global stage. It shows that you don't need to be in Silicon Valley to be a billionaire, and you don't need to invent the next app to build an empire. Sometimes, the biggest opportunities are right in front of you, in the basics that people need every day. He turned rice, sugar, salt, flour, and cement into the building blocks of his fortune, and now with his refinery, he is shaping the future of energy in Africa. That's vision, that's courage, and that's the mindset of a true billionaire. So the next time you hear the name Aliko Dangote, don't just think of him as Africa's richest man. Think of him as a lesson in persistence, vision, and problem-solving. Think of him as a man who started with a small loan and built an empire that touches millions of lives. And most importantly, think of him as a reminder that no dream is too big, no idea is too small, and no challenge is too great when you have the courage to keep moving forward. This is the story of Aliko Dangote, the boy who sold sweets in school, the young man who started trading with a small loan, the businessman who built Africa's largest conglomerate, and the billionaire who inspires millions to dream bigger. His journey is not just about wealth, it's about transformation. And maybe, just maybe, his story will spark something in you to start your own journey toward financial freedom.